ANC members with cases of alleged fraud and corruption will be asked to step aside as part of the party's clean-up. This is contained in the organisation's internal report that is entitled Provincial Reports, Criminal and Provincial Cases. The report is a summary of names and information of those implicated from all 9 provinces. The report gives a brief background about each case and updates on the status of those cases to date. Well, joining us on the programme, we've got Loyiso Magqashela. He is the ANC Eastern Cape Provincial spokesperson. We were meant to speak yesterday. I'm glad that we've managed to get you on today. So thanks so much for your time today.
Thanks very much, Leanne. Good morning to you and the viewers.
So the province is in possession of this internal report, which contains the names of people to step aside. Has the provincial ANC started acting on it? Because we believe that there are about 27 names from the Eastern Cape, from ANC officials in the Eastern Cape.
Thanks, Leanne. I just want to be on record expressing that the provincial leadership has started to act on the names as submitted to the National Executive Committee. And you would then recall that the statement of the NEC after its special NEC meeting indicated that various levels of the organization are urged to work with speed in as far as those reports and the names that are implicated in criminal activities and corruption are concerned. We should then rush that process. We are ready seized with that one, and maybe before the end of the week we will be reporting something totally different in as far as implementing that which has to do with them stepping aside, and some going straight to the Integrity Commission, and some resigning completely from their positions of deployment.
Those that have been named, have they been suspended already?
Yes, we are busy with that, distributing letters to them and all of those details that have to be, handed over to them. We are busy with that one as we speak.
So,
and some have received as of yesterday, and we are continuing even today. And we will, by the end of the week, have completed the process.
I mean, when we look at the list of allegations that are against some of the ANC members, I mean, the list is quite scathing. The crimes committed or alleged crimes committed are also quite scathing. I refer to a Sunday Times article that was covered this weekend where it talks to 2 councillors in the Matatiele who are accused of rape, the victim in one case being an epileptic girl aged 14 years old. How has action not even been taken against them? Because what I'm reading is that the party is yet to even act against either of these councillors. They're still in their positions.
We just want to refute that because action has been taken. Put it aside that in the document it is stated that no action has been taken. For instance, the councillor alleged of raping an epileptic child was requested to take a leave, and an acting councillor in his place was then assigned to take charge while he's undergoing the court process. But most unfortunately for that case, it could not proceed further because the investigating arm and the social workers, together with the child alleged to have been raped, they then found out that the allegations were not sticking, and the case was struck off the roll. So nothing has yet was done properly to then say this is how you would nail down the alleged person in as far as the case is concerned. But we did give him a leave so that he attends to the accusations and clear his name. And the second case there, that includes another councillor, of course, with rape, is still on. The councillor also as a ward councillor and an MPEG chairperson. As we speak now, there's an acting councillor in his ward, and there's someone else assigned to be the chairperson of the MPEG in that municipality of Matatiele. So I'm saying it could have been just at the time of submitting the report, that detail was not with the provincial secretary from the region to then indicate exactly what has been done by the organization in as far as both councillors are concerned. Otherwise, the ANC took that matter very serious because it really forms part of the tarnishing of image of the organization within the broader society.
So suspended on full pay, are they still suspended on full pay?
Yes, they are suspended on full pay.
With those allegations, okay. Another one, the King Sabata Dalendyebo municipality, Mbugeni Mabaso, also this has been named in the Sunday Times article. The story with him is that he's accused of selling a house to a destitute woman, robbing her of 25,000 rand. He's said to have directed food parcel to his friends and to the family. So the further on to the story is the MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs expelled Mabaso as a councillor, but the party hasn't taken any steps against him. He's still there. What's the story there?
Yes, he has been, deposed from the position by the MEC, and the party is taking him to the disciplinary hearing. Remember, the findings were made earlier by the municipality, but that they could not act on him. And that was later discovered that the councillor is still there and nothing has been done by the municipality. Hence, you would realize that it seems as if nothing has been done, but he is currently facing disciplinary hearing now. And he will soon be a verdict in as far as that is concerned, and supporting exactly what the MEC for COCTA has done. Because we're saying all these matters that pertain to his lead department, that is COCTA, everything to do with councillors, he must then act. We have given him a go-ahead to then take these matters, investigate them, make it a point that people are brought to book, whilst the ANC process on the other side will then be, pursued to make it a point that people account for their actions.
Yes. It is sort of, disconcerting to hear the behaviour of your members, the investigations into them, and it has to come from national leadership to try and get these cases sped up. I've only mentioned two. The one that is glaringly obvious is Andile Lungisa. His name appears as one of those people to step aside. I mean, he's convicted. He's a convicted criminal. He also faces criminal charges for assaulting a member of the opposition. It's an old case. And the report says the PEC tried to recall him from being the member of the mayoral committee, but he just defied it. This surely gives a good example that tests the power of the ANC. What will happen to him? He is clearly defying instructions from the organization.
I'll agree with you, Leon. And firstly, when we, got into contact with his unbecoming behavior of having, fought in the council chambers during the meeting, we then directed that he, with immediate effect, step aside and from being a mayoral committee, which thing he did not do. And then we escalated the matter to the National Executive Committee to at least, because he was saying he has written to the NEC. Then the NEC came down to say, no, he must then resign as a member of the mayoral committee. Then we must execute that as the Provincial Executive Committee, which we did. And when on refusal, then we subjected him to the DC, and we got to know from him, I think it was early this year in August, that he did not receive the letter directing to resign from the Provincial Executive Committee. And then he profusely apologized and then opted to resign with immediate effect from the meeting that was to conduct his disciplinary hearing on the day. Then he did the resigned. Then it came back to say now, after these allegations of fraud and corruption, the NEC decisions, that anyone formally charged, anyone convicted now must then resign, which is the thing that we are handling with him, that he must, in fact, not just step aside as he did as member of the mayoral committee, but completely resign as the councillor of the Nelson Mandela Metro, we are at that stage, and we don't expect any defiance, because it is just a decision to cleanse the organization and make it a point that everyone adheres to it, and we really gain and regain our confidence and the moral ground that the ANC commands in the society.
Yeah. There certainly is a lot of work that needs to be done to find that moral compass, as you say, and to cleanse it. Because, I mean, if you have somebody like Andile, you've given us the update on this. We do know that he voluntarily has stepped down, but he refused. He refused. I mean, that has got to show you the divisions within the party, and the fact that there are rogue members of the ANC that are in very powerful positions that do not listen to anybody. I mean, this has got to be a major concern for the party.
Definitely, Leanne, it's a major concern, because there are members who have a tendency to run in between structures, trying to create confusion. When Loyiso is confronted with a disciplinary charge or a criminal sanction, I don't have to go around, but I must just do the honorable thing. If I have to step aside, if I have to resign, that I must do, so that my name gets to be cleared. But the ANC, I think this time around, has got it right to make it a point that everyone who is alleged must see the Integrity Commission. Anybody accused of, those people must then step aside, convicted, resign. And I think we're heading towards the right direction. And we just have to be firm and accelerate on implementing all these decisions. Because it cannot be allowed that we be a chaotic organization. We have a huge task on our shoulders as the leader of the country and the leader of the society.
Finally, and if I can ask you to be quick on this one, we need to get into our headlines. The ANC Provincial Chair in the Eastern Cape is Oscar Mabuyane. As we know, he's also the Eastern Cape Premier. He's apparently not on the list, despite allegations against him. Apparently he's been cleared. What are those specific cases that he's actually being cleared of?
It has to do with the loan that he made to the current provincial treasurer. To do with the renovation of his house. He made a loan from him because the bank refused to give him a loan. Then the Premier approached him, because at the time he was not the MEC, I'm saying the treasurer of the ANC in the province. He was still running his businesses and so on. Then he approached him, and then they went to a lawyer to then sign documentation in as far as the loan is concerned. Then that was then made an issue by one mischievous individual who happened to know that they have then agreed on a loan.
As mischievous individual, but this was a struggling municipality that he took money from to renovate his house.
No. I think if you then in your possession have the report, it has nothing to do with a struggling municipality, but the municipality was then the conduit of the money that was channeled by DISRAC in an event that took place there, which was under the auspices of DISRAC. Then that money was to be paid to the taxi owners and so on. Then the person who had a contract with the municipality happened to be working closely with the provincial treasurer. Then the money came through that process, not money which was from a municipality as it is alleged. I think the document will clear you, and you'll have a proper understanding of the series of events that led to that. It has got nothing to do with siphoning the money of the poor people from that struggling municipality. So it was trying to tarnish the image. That's why the presentations into the Provincial Integrity Commission resulted in them finding no sticking allegation against the Premier, and he went there voluntarily, and he was then cleared.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got to leave it there, unfortunately, Loyiso. So We'll have to see what further investigations, the names of those officials, and whether or not the law can act against them. But everything we've heard from you so far is that nothing is sticking against any of these officials that have been fingered in this report and previously because of evidence. But let's leave it there. Loyiso Magqashela is the ANC Eastern Cape Provincial spokesperson, giving us a bit of clarity regarding ANC report that tables specific cases of ANC members that are possibly implicated in fraud and corruption. 7:30, Sakina, let's get the news headlines.